On a card from Riyadh season in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, Jose Carlos Ramirez and Arnold Barbosa Jr. are going to participate in a fight between one another in the super lightweight division. That is a crossroads battle for both men with similar paths, and now someone's going to move forward. Let's talk about it. The 12-round super lightweight battle that's going to take place between Jose Carlos Ramirez and Arnold Barbosa Jr. slated on Riyadh Season's Latino Night card. That'll take place this coming Saturday, November 16th. These two men are on similar paths for different reasons. In the case of Jose Carlos Ramirez, you're talking about a fighter who's a former unified champion in the division. And he is a man that has had a lot of opportunity to go further, but things seemed to be derailed when he faced Josh Taylor in May of 2021 in a unification for Undisputed, where he lost his titles to Josh Taylor. In the case of Barbosa, he hasn't had the chance to become a world champion, although he has picked up regional and intercontinental titles on his trek. He hasn't had also the quality of opposition that Jose Carlos has had. But that doesn't mean that during this fight we won't catch fire between these two men. In Jose Carlos Ramirez's case, he's coming into this fight and his record is definitely a good stellar record of 29-1 with 18 KOs. That single loss coming to Josh Taylor. He is a 32-year-old fighter now, nicknamed the Jaguar, 5'10" with a 72-inch reach. He's coming in and he's looking to get his opportunity to get back to the top. In the event of Barbosa Jr., who comes in with his record of 30-0 and 11 KOs, he's looking for that opportunity to launch into a title shot, almost coming earlier in the year on the undercard of Haney versus Garcia, when Garcia came in overweight, and then they made a decision to go ahead, but they had brought him in as insurance to possibly face Haney if things went south. Ramirez was always noted to come blazing, wild with left hooks, winding him up and overwhelming opponents with power and strength in the division. But when he crossed paths with Josh Taylor, the defensive liabilities that he had on display were what were his undoing in that fight against Taylor, whom also had his own deficiencies, but Ramirez was not able to capitalize. With Barbosa Jr., I believe that he's going to have to let his hands go and be more busier. In his last fight against Sean McComb, he got a split decision victory, but he often was parrying punches and holding his hands up and following McComb around, who was outboxing him. And he didn't take the risks that were necessary to try to stop McComb or put him on the defensive. But that doesn't mean that Barbosa isn't capable of those things. He's going to have to be motivated in this fight against Ramirez. He's 32 years of age, 5'9", with a 72-inch reach. And it is time for him to put himself in a position, like I said, to become a world titleist for the first time, because the belts are scattered in the division and there will be opportunity. But will he be ready? And will he turn back? Ramirez, it remains to be seen. But I believe this is one of those fights that can turn into something like Gotti versus Ward, with the men hot with their dispositions of competitive spirit as Mexicans, and will look to really go at it. I do believe Ramirez has the edge in intensity when he goes in, but he has been hurt in recent fights, and maybe the punch resistance isn't what it once was, which is why he's going to have to be more defensive responsible in this fight against Barbosa, and look to outpoint and score when he has the opportunity, and take advantage when those circumstances present themselves for him to work hard on the inside, but not just languish there. In the case of Barbosa, he's going to be the one that has to go for broke in this fight, similar to what Ramirez has done for most of his career, because he's the man who hasn't tasted the glory of being a world champion yet, but it is right at the doors. So he's going to have to make the move, and he can do it because, as I said, the vulnerabilities that Ramirez has shown in recent fights mean that he might be ripe for the taking. But you just never know about a man's will and desire until it is tested. I'm giving a slight edge to Barbosa in this fight because he may be motivated greatly, and Ramirez, because of the battles he's had, may have taken more out of him, even though they've had the same amount of fights. But what do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, the third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Be sure to turn in to Latino Night, Saturday, November 16th. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.